Hi everyone, I'm Alice and I'm one of the directors of The Joyful Web, and I'm here today with sex and relationship coach and social media strategist Lucy Rowett.
Hello.
And we are going to talk about social media today. More specifically, we're going to talk about what happens when you work in an industry where Facebook and Instagram advertising simply will not let you promote your services using paid advertising. So we're going to talk a bit about some organic promotion tips, some tips specific to if you are working in the sex and relationship coaching industry as well. So Lucy, how long have you been working as a sex and relationship coach? When did you first step into the industry?
God, actually not as long as people think, so maybe about a year and a half.
Okay.
But before that I was working in social media and blogging. I sort of taught myself everything, and then the best thing about teaching yourself is that you're really hungry for more, and social media is something that changes so quickly, so you really have to be on the ball. So and I work as a social media strategist specifically within the sexuality industry because it's what I trained in, and I know it really well, and I really see the problems that sexuality professionals have in terms of getting themselves out there online.
So what happened when did you even try to promote yourself with an ad when you first started?
No. I to be honest, you can't. I have seen sexuality professionals, tantra teachers, they can do ads, but you have to be very specific around it. I saw a few ads with the word sex in. I don't know how they got through. They must have been cut after a few days. I've seen some people do ads where it's not sex related. They'll say it's about body confidence or about self-love or feeling more. I don't even know if desire is allowed through. You have to be very, very careful.
It's that strict.
It depends. Facebook and Instagram, they have, community standards, but they don't seem to have any hard and fast rules. It's potluck. So something I always recommend to my colleagues is have a backup Facebook account. Have a backup Facebook profile that is linked to all of your pages and groups, because if Facebook decides to ban you for 30 days, you are screwed in a not pleasurable way. So have a backup Facebook account.
And just to kind of backtrack on that, so when you set up a social media ad, you will put your advertising text in there, you'll put your image in there, you'll select your audience, and then Facebook has a review process for every ad, which for the most part is automated. And it will pick up on certain words, certain things in your images, and it will say this ad contravenes our guidelines and we won't run it. So it will have automatic checks for words like sex. Desire.
Sometimes erotic, sexy. I think obviously they keep it secret. They're not going to tell everyone what the exact words
are.
And it's not just words, it's like keywords and phrases that they use. And also the images, they could, even if you're not posting anything explicit. I think somebody tried to post like a picture of a tantra manual or something, or a goddess, and they wouldn't allow that.
We were running some ads for a company that made cushions that were shaped like lips. And when I tried to run some ads for these cushions, I got a review automated saying this ad shows a zoomed in body part, so you're not allowed to show it. And it was like, request manual review. This is not a body part, this is a cushion.
Oh my god.
And just had to do it every time we tried to run the ads.
It's crazy. I've even when I haven't run ads, if I've shared an article that's sex related, again, nothing explicit, and it could be potlucks, and I'll get a potluck, and Facebook will get a review saying this violates our community standards, and I'm like,
are these for your organic posts?
Yes, organic posts, and for the posts that I manage. Sometimes it's like, this violates our community standards. When it's an article, an external news article, they will. And I've been very lucky. So far, I have not been banned yet, but I have a backup Facebook account in case I am banned. It's really difficult, and it's especially in the USA, they passed legislation last year that came through this year called FOSTA and SESTA, which is ostensibly to prevent sex trafficking. But what it's done is that now if your company is based in the US, if you are accused of promoting sex trafficking, you can be you can be prosecuted, which means that Facebook, Google, Microsoft, Yahoo, they're all US based companies. They have doubled down and banned so many things because they don't want to fall foul of the law. And like Tumblr, they banned their erotic and adult section because again, they don't want to fall on the wrong side of the law. And it's crazy. And it actually puts people who work with sexuality, if you're a coach, therapist, educator, or a sex worker, it puts you at more risk because you can't really promote yourself.
Yeah. And also, I think, you know, by that token, you know, with obviously there's that side of things, and then there's the whole, like you were saying, it's not just adverts that will get banned if Facebook thinks that you're promoting, you know, I mean, I guess it's around promoting like porn and erotica and that kind of stuff. I think it's trying to stop you doing. Yeah. But there's not only that side of things, there's also, like you said, you can have organic content being taken down. People can potentially have their profiles banned or removed for violating, and then compounded with what you were just saying. That's also creating a level of censorship around a topic that is already so taboo and needs to be talked about more.
Exactly, especially, you know, we have sex educators online and their stuff is being censored, and they're saying, but what we're doing is trying to educate and prevent the stuff that you're trying to ban in the first place, like abuse, like you know, harassment. This is what we're trying to do, and also trying to promote sex as something pleasurable and something positive. But you know, this, we have to work with it. And when I work with my social media clients, I say I really hate how sex negative social media can be, but we have to work within those constraints. Because you need social media to promote your business, so we have to work within those constructs. Constraints. That's the
one.
Constraints.
It's Friday afternoon.
Yeah, like
words.
One thing I recommend is that if you, for your Facebook page or your Facebook group, do not put the word sex in the URL. Try not to. Don't, because they could ban you. Even if you're using Gmail, try not to put sex in your Gmail address.
Because they could remove your email
They
account.
could. I'm of the opinion that I err on the side of caution. Yeah. I prefer to err on the side of caution, and it sucks because I'm very sex positive and I'm all about empowerment and permission, but we have to work with the current climate.
And obviously Facebook is particularly bad for this kind of stuff. Facebook own Instagram.
Yes,
so first question is, do you get similar issues on Instagram? And secondly, other channels like Twitter, what are they like?
That's interesting, sort of thing? Because on Instagram there are a lot of erotic artists on Instagram. So Instagram tends to be more permissive so far.
Apart from the whole nipple.
Apart from nipples,
stuff.
But you'd be surprised what you can find on Instagram. I follow a lot of accounts with erotic art, and they post some very explicit stuff. It's not erotic photography, but it's erotic drawings or paintings or whatever. So far that has not been banned yet, but I'm worried that at some point Instagram may want to stop that as well.
It's so strange that two channels owned by the same company seem to have such different standards.
It's weird, and I don't know why. I mean, for the moment we can enjoy it because you can look at so much beautiful things on Instagram. So far I haven't encountered much pushback on Instagram yet. Again, when the hashtags you use, I mean, I've used hashtags like sex coach, orgasm, sex positive. So far nothing has been censored yet.
And do you know of any related hashtags that are banned by Instagram?
That's difficult because apparently the hashtag goddess was banned, but it's not. I read somewhere that the hashtag goddess was banned, but then I looked it up and it's very much still been in use.
That's strange.
I'm trying to think of at the moment because Instagram changes its banned hashtags all the time. I recommend like using hashtag searching apps. Like I'm trying to think of the one I've got on my phone. Hashtagify or something. There's a few of them. So actually look at hashtags and see what they're using. I also recommend that follow other sexuality professionals, like follow other sex educators, coaches, tantrikas. Look at what hashtags they're using and use some of those as well. And just look. Also, I think on like apps like Crowdfire, you can search for hashtags. So do your hashtag research. If in doubt, err on the side of caution to start with, and use very commonly used hashtags as well.
And what about Twitter? Have you found any? Because
I'm just thinking, because
there is some really dodgy stuff on Twitter. Like I just searching the most innocent hashtags, I've seen some images come up where I'm just like, whoa,
Yeah.
why is that there?
I think here Twitter's a minefield because on one hand you have people who are sex workers or cam girls who've been banned and taken down, and yet one of the clients I worked with, one of the clients I work for, they had a dick pic sent to their Twitter, and of course, I block and report because that's non-consensual, not okay.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, how did that get through? I'm surprised that Twitter's still allowing these things. I wish I had hard and fast rules for Twitter, apart from, as with any social media account, don't post anything explicit.
Yeah.
I know this sounds like a really no-brainer, and especially with the work we do, but don't post anything explicit, which is really terrible if you're trying to promote something like erotica or videos. Don't post anything explicit.
And when you say explicit,
no naked bodies. Be careful with the language you use. Be mindful of the language you use. So maybe because I work for professionals, and in our field we have to be mindful of language we use anyway, because we can't be saying very explicit things all the time. We have to be mindful of sensitivities. Be mindful of the language you use. And just know that Twitter could try and shut you down at any moment. So
as with all social channels,
it's kind of ironic that it's very easy to be, to harass women online on Twitter. It's very easy to post racism, sexism, homophobia. That's okay, but to post anything that's sexuality related, no. Yeah,
that's a whole nother conversation.
That's a whole nother conversation, and it really frustrates me in the work I do. So far, I haven't had any pushback on Twitter, for the clients, no pushback yet. But obviously,
so Facebook's the one.
Facebook tends to be the one, and as much as we are broadcasting on Facebook Live, so it kind of feels like we're, talking trash about the platform we're using. I love Facebook. I think it's a brilliant platform.
Oh yeah, me too.
But it's frustrating. It's really frustrating. And it feels like they're missing a huge opportunity here, because I'm thinking if pages still allow it, where you can choose your age range. I'm not sure if they allow that anymore, because they used to, where if you, with your Facebook page, you can select a certain age range, so nobody under the age of 18 or 21.
Oh, can we even be able to see your page?
Yeah, but I think they may have changed that. This was like a year ago, because they change it a lot.
Yeah.
But so with one of the clients I worked for, I changed the settings so nobody under the age of 18 can see it.
Yeah. And do you use YouTube at all for your videos?
My clients do. I don't, because I do not have the spoons to be active on every single social media channel.
Who does?
Who does? Unless, I think YouTube, there are lots of sex educators on YouTube. There are some really good sex educators there. Again, you can't post anything explicit. But a lot of sex educators aren't posting anything directly explicit. But then what is explicit at the end of the day? How do you draw the line? Because there was an amazing YouTube video I saw, which was a sex education video from Norway, where they actually had real naked bodies, like showing real penises, real vulvas, real breasts, as a very matter of fact, this is what the body looks like, this is how the body changes. I don't know if it's still up there, but it may have been banned, I don't know. YouTube tends to be a bit more permissive, I would say, but then of course you can't share YouTube links on Facebook, because Facebook doesn't like YouTube.
No, Facebook doesn't like Google.
Facebook doesn't like Google, no.
Yeah, that's a really good point actually. If you are making videos for your business and you have a YouTube presence and you have a Facebook presence, upload the videos to both channels individually, because when you post, like say, a YouTube link to Facebook, you get this tiny little thumbnail and it suppresses it in the algorithm and it doesn't want to show anyone, because it just turns on to Google and it's like, hey, I don't like you.
No, Facebook,
so no, but it's absolutely fine to post YouTube links to Twitter.
Yeah,
you can watch them in the feed. They all look good on LinkedIn as well.
And you can embed YouTube links on your website as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Do that and have lots of videos on your website of you talking, because people want to connect with you. And do Facebook videos too.
Facebook. Like this.
Like this.
Look at us leading by example.
Facebook loves live video.
It does.
It really loves live video. So do live video, even if you feel very unconfident. Do it.
Yeah, and it's really not scary. It can be intimidating if you're sat just like looking into a camera, like just you. But if you're just sat having a conversation with someone like this, like I've kind of, no offense guys, I kind of just forget you're there. But I love you.
Hello.
So in terms of what are the best tips that you have found for increasing organic reach, specifically on Facebook?
So you need to give value with your content. And there's an old marketing slogan, which is, so what's so great about that? What's in it for me? You really, if you're sharing a blog post, you can share blog posts. Write about why they need to read that blog post. And especially, I think if you are any kind of, I say coach or therapist, you want to show your authority by giving your opinion, by giving education, by giving away tips for free. Set up a schedule so that every Tuesday you give tips, or every Wednesday you do advice or something. Show off your value, give value, show off your expertise. You need to show your expertise, and mix up your content as well. So do videos, create graphics. Canva or Adobe Spark are really good for that.
I love Canva.
I love Canva. I've just suddenly got Adobe Spark on my phone. Oh my god!
Is that free?
The free version, you have to have a watermark of Adobe Spark, but it's so much more versatile than Canva. Sorry, this is just a geeky moment. I was on my phone for about an hour going, oh wow, I can do all this!
Because Canva's awful on mobile.
Yeah, I use Canva. Canva is amazing. It's so user-friendly. I use it on my laptop.
Yeah, I use it on my laptop.
Because I'm not a graphic designer, but you can create amazing stuff on there. Also, on Facebook, for example, they give the option that if your status update is longer than certain characters, it can be a colour. So mix that up. Have sentences. Use emojis. Facebook and Instagram, social media is primarily visual. You want your posts to look visually appealing, not just in the graphics and the images, but by the text. So break up the text. Don't just post a block paragraph like you would in a magazine. Nobody wants to read that. Eyes are lazy. Break up the text. Use emojis. Use the language that you speak. Type how you speak. So use your mannerisms. Use your verbatums. Be informal, but decide. I would also say decide what your tone is before. So write down your core values as your brand, what you want to achieve, who you are. Because some people will swear on Facebook. I sometimes use the F word or the S word. I always put an asterisk, so I'm not saying the full swear word. That's part of who I am and how I speak. You may not want that. Really get your voice, define what your voice is and how you're speaking. And remember, you're speaking to people. You're not just posting to avoid. Promote conversation, so ask questions, get people to comment, because that Facebook likes engagement. It's social media isn't quite the same as just sticking up a flyer in your local community centre. In some ways it is, but it's about communicating with people. Because some people will just post links. It really pisses me off when people use Facebook groups just to post a link to their event with no explanation, no text, no conversation. Social media is about giving value and having conversations in the same way that you would go to a networking event and you wouldn't just turn up with your poster and say, here's my poster! Hi, Abby!
That's so funny. I always say that to people as well. I'm like, if you wouldn't walk into a networking event and say it, don't put it on your social media.
No, and you have to build a relationship with people, and you can do that through social media. Also, it's a really good market research tool because you can actually ask what people, if you're in any business, you have to do your market research. Social media is brilliant for that because you can ask people, you can post stuff, see if it gets high engagement. Good, that works. This is what people want. Don't be afraid to be controversial. Sometimes don't be afraid to myth busting is a really good one, especially if something really pisses you off. You can myth bust that. That's controversial. Not controversial. It promotes engagement. Selfies, please. Make friends with selfies because your audience want to see you. They don't want to see a picture perfect coach, especially in the topic of sexuality because it's such a sensitive topic. They need to feel they can trust you. The essentials of business is know, like, and trust. In order for them to know, like, and trust you, you need to share pictures of yourself, even if you got no makeup on or if you look imperfect. That's something I still have to work with. But people want to see your imperfection and they want to connect with you. Like I see this being used on Facebook a lot, where somebody will write a long form copy post and they use a selfie or an image of them because it connects that message to you.
I'm a big fan of that. And also we kind of briefly touched on this earlier when we were talking, saying that our brains are hardwired to respond to images of faces. And so if someone's scrolling, they're far more likely to stop and engage with an image of a face than they are with an image of anything else.
always try and use your face, or even if you're using a stock image, make it of a person, people. Try not to use just random stock images of objects too often. Sometimes you can.
Sometimes you can mix it up.
You can mix it up, but try and make the majority of it faces. So one of my a photographer I hired, we did stock photos where we got lots of couples and took photos of them, which is what I use.
Well, I think we need to wrap up now, but that was so helpful. Thank you so much. And do you have like a final tip to end on? And if not, just let people know where they can find and connect with you.
I was thinking a final tip: focus on giving value, and focus on them rather than you. Focus on what value and what content you can give to people. As though you're giving sex advice for free, or any advice for free. You can find me on my website, lucyrowett.com. I specialise in social media for sexuality professionals because it's my field. I know how it works. I love working with sexuality professionals. I also work as a sex and relationship coach, so find me on my Facebook page, and also do join my free Facebook group for women liberated, and stalk me on Instagram.
And we'll put all of those links to Lucy's social media in the comments as well, so you'll be able to find them. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you soon.